Holy shit, I just watched episode 14 of Log Horizon 2, and it was really great and interesting. I got some things I didn't know I wanted out of this episode. It starts, for starters, it takes place outside of any of the characters we've known so far. It's completely new characters, completely new location, which was really interesting. And it's following Kanami, who we've heard about forever, and now she's finally here. But here's the things, the new ideas that were really interesting to me. One, now we have parody account characters, which is something you'll always see in MMOs. If you've played any of them, people will make their character look like an existing character and name them after them. So we've got a guy who is Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles. He's a frog ninja, but he looks like a Ninja Turtle, and at one point he screams "Cowabunga" while doing an attack. So that was awesome, and he's an American too, which makes it even funnier that it's like some American guy who happened to be on the Japanese server or on the Chinese server or whatever when the thing happened. So that was pretty interesting. And then we've got there was also a girl named Chun-Lu who was wearing a China dress with the buns, so she's obviously supposed to be Chun-Li. So we've got two parody account characters. Then we've got an AI, which is a Chinese spam bot that is now sentient in the game, and that is pretty fascinating. I mean, the idea of like a man-made AI gaining sentience inside an MMO has obviously been done by .hacksign a lot, and Sword Art Online, but it's interesting to see how this show will do it, because right off the bat we get the sense that she has like a very data-centric sort of mindset, but at the same time it seems like she has some kind of feelings. So I'm like thinking how much of her is going to be what was programmed into her, and how much of it is going to be something that she's developed in the time since gaining sentience in this world. I mean, obviously all the NPCs are now alive, but would she be different? Like, you know, the NPCs are all of their mentality is based on what they were what their story was in the game, or what they thought of the systems of their world. So what is a spam bot gonna do? I am definitely interested to find out. We also had enemies with sentience, which I don't think we really had before. I think there may have been like enemies that said a word or two, but this is the first time we've had like outright monsters that have gained sentience because they were humanoid monsters, which makes perfect sense considering everything else in the story. It's just not something that I saw coming. It's like, whoa, yeah, cool. So all these new concepts coming up out of nowhere. There was some good fight scenes in this episode. It broadened the spectrum, or the perspective of the world a little bit. We saw some new locations, and get the sense that there's a lot of places that are just still like the game. Like, it seemed like the places they were traveling through were just NPC towns the way they had always been inside the game, with no real changes. So I'm curious as to what people are, like, what the players are doing out in, like, the China server and stuff like that. And I've always been hoping since the end of Season 1 that we will eventually get to see more of the world of Elder Tale and how people are reacting in different places, not just in Japan, but, you know, broadening the scope. And it was definitely interesting to find out that the expansion pack apparently only has taken effect on the Japanese server, which means that the expansion pack, whether it brought everyone to this world or not, didn't affect the entire world, because it only had released in one time zone, and yet everyone is inside the game, regardless of where it was released. So that's interesting. I wonder why that is. This is how you do, you know, bring up mysteries in a show, where even though the show itself carries itself, I still am wondering what's gonna happen. And that's how a show should be. Like, I'm a big-time hater of mystery shows, because if all I have to go on is my questions, then I don't care. I'm like, what's going on? I don't give a fuck. But this show, I care about what's happening, and I'm curious about what's going to happen. So it's got me by the collar. I'm excited. That's it. See you in the next one.